Welcome to Promote, Profit, Publish. So glad to have you guys listening today. Want to remind you before we get started to go over and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Super Brand Publishing, and also subscribe to the podcast you're listening to and write us a review. We know you like it because you keep showing up. So tell us about it. Anyway, today's guest has something a little bit unique he's going to share with us. His name is Hani Mourra, and he is a dad, a software-preneur, and the creator of Repurpose.io, an easy-to-use automation tool that helps entrepreneurs, coaches, and content creators maximize their exposure without spending hours publishing to multiple platforms. And how much do we like that? Because we could spend all day doing that. So welcome, Hani.
Hey, thanks for having me here.
Yeah, great. So tell us about the dad part first.
Yeah, I'm a dad of two girls, 7.5-year-old and an 11-year-old very soon. She's almost 11.
Oh, okay. So wait a minute. Are you having her and she's popping out 11?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't waste time, man. We just go right.
We just go right to you're a fully grown adult.
Go. Just jump in. Let's do it. No, she'll be 11 in a couple of days, actually.
Awesome. So she's a Pisces.
I am not good with those things. With the horoscope, I am not good. I'm sorry.
Just checking it out there. I'm not really either, and I might have been off. Anyway, let's move on.
It's all good. It's all good.
Software. You're actually a software engineer. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm. That's right. Yeah.
So you're that kind of geeky guy who's really good at math and creating things like the rest of us aren't.
Yeah, I love it. It's fun. I love creating. In general, I love creating, whether it's video, whether it's software. I don't know. I've got those that maker's itch where every once in a while I feel like I need to make something or create something or take something apart and figure out how it works. That's just kind of how I'm programmed, I guess.
Oh, I love that. I kind of do that in a different way with my detective novels. I kind of take scenarios and then put them back together. So it's kind of that out of the box thing with what you love. So tell us about your journey through Repurpose, how you got to what you got to.
So maybe 5.5, 6 years ago, I was doing a lot of blogging and video blogging because I love video. Video has always been my passion, even as a kid. So when I started a blog in, I guess, 2009 around, what do I blog about? Everyone's blogging. I should blog about something. So I started blogging about video. And one thing I like is how to make things simple. I like to take something that's kind of complicated or sound difficult and break it down and make it simple. So I started blogging about video and video marketing and YouTube and how to optimize there, blah, 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 blah. Fast forward a couple of years later, I didn't know where my blog was going. I was enjoying it, but I wasn't really I didn't feel like this is exactly where I should be. And then one day it just occurred to me, I'm a software person. I create software and I love video. Why don't we make a software for video? And it was just like, ding, light bulb idea. I didn't know what the idea was, but that was the moment where I was like, wow, that felt good. That is the right thing. So maybe 6 months later, kind of honed down on what I wanted to create. And I created my first WordPress plugin with the help of a developer. Even though I know how to code, I know I didn't have a lot of time and I wanted to get some help to kind of fast forward things. And we created our first WordPress plugin. And all it did was, main job was to take a YouTube video and automatically make a blog post for you. And that's how I got into it. I got hooked. I created something that's kind of solving my own pain point. I ended up partnering up with somebody who had the right audience and went through that journey with him. And, we're friends. We're still friends now. And it was like that moment where you're like, wow, I'm adding value to the world with my tools. And my tools, like my toolbox is software. And even though I'm not coding it, it's more about I see it, I visualize it, I architect it, and I get help on the coding.
That is really cool. So tell us about, this is obviously something that's on YouTube, but my understanding from playing around with it is it can go over to Facebook, it can go over to LinkedIn, like everything is there to automate all that. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, for sure. So sorry, that was about 6 years ago. That was my first plugin.
Oh,
called Simple. Yeah, that was just the beginning of the journey.
I'm sorry.
That's how I got hooked into it. No worries. So the WordPress plugin was something I just got into software, created my own software. A year or so later, I made another plugin for WordPress that publish your podcast to your blog.
Uh-huh.
A year or so later, publish Facebook Lives to your blog. So I started building that reputation of, oh, this guy's the automation guy who's building tools to automate content to my blog. And then those customers kept asking, hey, can you take it a step further? Can you take it beyond WordPress? Can you take a podcast and convert it to a video and put it on YouTube? Or can you take my Facebook Lives and put them on YouTube for me? And that's how Repurpose was born. It was influenced by my customers of my WordPress tools who loved what I was doing with automation. It saved them a lot of time. And then they said, can you take it a step further? And my first answer was always no, it's not possible, not technically possible yet.
Mm-hmm.
And then the more I got asked, I said, you know what? I got to pay attention to this. Let me see what I can do. And then I kind of went beyond my comfort zone, which was WordPress at the time. I said, let me create my own platform for repurposing content, basically taking content from one platform, like a Facebook, and then pushing it on to YouTube, or taking an audio, turning it into a video and putting it on YouTube, etc. And that's how Repurpose was born.
So something I want you guys to really grasp onto there is, we all go out and we create products, but we don't always listen before we do it. Hani has a really successful product because he listened and got feedback and considered the options before he just created. So I love that, Hani. That's one of the things we teach people to do all the time is listen and validate with it.
Yeah. I mean, I had a vision for Repurpose when it came out. Initially, it was just a podcast to YouTube. It was basically an audio to video tool. And I had, here's my vision. I was going with it. And then even then, like more and more people used it. More and more people said, you know what, I wish it did this and I wish it did that. And we kind of, tweaked it, adjusted it, made it a little more flexible. So you're right. Like, it's not about, sometimes you have a vision for your product or your course, whatever you're creating, but your actual users who are going to get value out of it, let them guide you a little bit. And it's very important to listen to what they want.
Mm-hmm. No, let them guide you a lot, because when they're guiding you, you actually have a product that people are telling you they want. And that's, I think, one of the biggest mistakes out there with the product development is, I have an idea, it's really cool, but I ask my mother, who of course is going to say, "Oh, that's wonderful, dear. I would totally buy that." But you have to ask the right people, those people that are user, and create that user experience for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And if you can, what we did in the beginning was we formed beta groups. We had, before we sold anything, before we finished building our first WordPress plugin, we put it out there. Hey, we're looking for 20 people who are interested in this tool that we're creating. Put your hand up if you're interested in helping us test it out. So that's what we did. Got feedback, and the kind of the biggest validator back then to me was people actually used it. Like, usually when you give something away for free, people, they don't bother spending time using it because they don't value it as much. But we gave it away for free for 20 people. And I want to say, I think 15 out of those 20 were using it and giving some feedback on how to make it better. And that was our first sign of, okay, let's proceed with this. People are actually using it. So it's important to get a beta group, or get a group of people who let them test drive your product, your course, whatever it is. Let them test drive it and give you feedback. But of course, these people need to be, your ideal customer or close to an ideal customer, so you can get real feedback.
Yeah, that's really important too. The other thing, I think I mentioned to you when we talked before, Bill Kelly's been, who did learning.com and WebMD, has been coaching me a little bit on what I want to develop.
Mhm.
And the one thing he did say was, get it out there ASAP. Don't just sit on it and play with it and play with it. Get it out there into beta.
Yes. You need real people. You need real feedback, because you're building a product. You're not building it for yourself. You're building it for the users. So until you get people using it, giving you good feedback, bad feedback, doesn't matter. Put it out there. 100%. I totally agree with that.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about what you have the product as it is today, because I have encountered several people that are using it. I've played around with it a little myself, but I'm not very tech savvy. So what is it?
Okay.
How does it really help people?
Yeah. So the objective here, the main point of software, or repurpose software, is to take a single piece of content, There's many ways you can spin it, but let's say you're doing a video. Let's say we're doing this video right here. The idea is we create the content once, we put it on Facebook as an example, and then using repurpose, we can set up these rules that say take this video from Facebook and send it off to YouTube, send it off to Twitter, send it off to LinkedIn, etc. And the whole point is that you're getting your content in true native video formats. We're not sending out links. It's not like a Hootsuite where we send links out to different videos. We're actually uploading the video to YouTube. So you have a real video on YouTube. We're actually uploading it to Twitter. We can upload it to LinkedIn. And it's all done automatically. We also have abilities to trim the video and shorten it and make it vertical and square and all those bells and whistles. But the main point is that it gives you as a content creator, as a business owner, the chance to create the content once and then set up the rules inside our software to send them out to multiple platforms.
Mm-hmm. So what I love about this, you guys, is many of you know Tracy Hazard and I have a show on Monday night. We can go from Zoom live into Facebook and then use Repurpose to post it in those other areas, or vice versa. We can go to YouTube and have it posted in other areas. And the impact of that video actually being there versus the link, because you're telling somebody to click on this little link and many times they don't even see it. It's buried inside something. So this actually brings it up and does it automatically. How much time, just think about how much time that would save you while you're...
There's no uploading, no downloading. You can have the slowest internet, you can have the fastest. It doesn't matter because we're doing it. Our servers are doing all the work. They're doing all the downloading. They're converting a horizontal video into a vertical video. We can add captions. All that work that someone needs to go and do, it's all handled automatically. And the biggest one is the upload and download. It's just the fact that you don't have to download a video from Facebook, then go and wait and upload it to YouTube and type the description and type the title and then take that video and cut it down to 10 minutes and then upload it to LinkedIn and then do the same thing for Twitter. It's only 2 minutes long and you got to so it's just all this downloading, uploading, cutting. It's all handled automatically with our software.
And when I was playing with it inside of the demo, also, you can break that into the 10 minutes. So you can do, if you're not ready to go live with something or you want to use it for something else, you can create yourself a little teaser for something else, can't you?
Yeah, we have a very simple to use video editor. So you can say, I'll take this interview, for example, and I want to break it out into pull out 2 or 3 of my best clips that are maybe a minute or 2 long. So we have a little visual tool. You drag and drop this way. You say cut. And there's one little clip, or we call it a snippet. You can make as many snippets, basically little video clips out of a single video right inside our tool. And then you can click publish to send it off to whatever you want to send it off to, Twitter, LinkedIn, other Facebook groups, to YouTube, etc. And all kinds of sizes. And size is important because some platforms like Instagram or Instagram TV, they want it vertical. Some prefer square, and some prefer horizontal. And to be converting all these videos manually is just a pain. It's just a pain. So you can set it up so you can tell our software, hey, just turn it into a horizontal video, or make it a square video, or leave it as it is and send it off to platforms. So we support LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and then we have Dropbox and Google Drive as kind of the secondary option, like backup option. So for example, we can't upload directly to Instagram. They're not opening up the platform to everybody yet, but you can have a video that's already in vertical size, ready to go, sitting in your Dropbox. Repurpose can convert it into vertical, add the captions, all that good stuff, send it off to your Dropbox, and all you need to do is just drag it from Dropbox and upload it to Instagram. And there's even ways to schedule posts to Instagram as well. So the fact that if we don't directly integrate with a platform, we give you the option to use Dropbox or Google Drive.
That's very cool. And LinkedIn, you brought up something very important. I see so many people who are taking their entire Facebook Live and putting it over on LinkedIn. And LinkedIn actually only optimizes if it's 10 minutes or less, doesn't it?
I forget. It's either 10 or 20. I think you're right. I think it is 10. The maximum video is 10. So you have to cut it down to 10 minutes
Hmm.
before you can upload to LinkedIn. So you can use Repurpose to kind of pick either the first 10 minutes or pick a 10-minute chunk. Um, but honestly, like even 10 minutes is a lot to me. You want to on social in general, like forget about Repurpose. I say in general, if you're posting content on social, attention spans are short. You want to keep
Right.
it, with the exception of YouTube, which people are more used to longer form because they're actively searching for something on YouTube
Hmm.
typically. You can go a bit longer, but you want to keep it short on social. A minute, the best minute or 2 minutes, just so someone can see your face, see the conversation, hear something important, and say, "Wow, you know, this is interesting. I'm going to follow this person, or I'm going to look at their profile." I'm going to divert a little bit here, but your profiles on social are very important. And when someone watches something, a video of you, and they like what they saw, first thing to do is to go to your profile and say, who's this person? I'm
Hmm.
interested, I'm intrigued. And then they learn more about you. So you don't want to put any kind of links in your content. Like when you post a video, they don't recommend, social platforms don't like links. They don't say, hey, click here to opt into my free giveaway. You can do that once in a while, but don't do that regularly. Just have those
Right.
links in your profile, because the point of social is not to drive people away. Facebook hates it when you put links because you're sending people off of Facebook, and Facebook wants their users to stay on Facebook. So I can't confirm or deny, but I hear that links tend to give you less visibility. When you have links, you get almost penalized in the post. You get less exposure. So my recommendations: put good, short, clean profile with a link in the profile, and just put out content. And
Yeah.
don't worry about the links. Let them research you by clicking on your profile and learning more about you.
Yeah, and I think I can't really confirm or deny either, but I hear as of January 15th, you cannot make an offer and put links in on a Facebook
Oh,
Live anymore. So I don't know
interesting.
if you got a chance to watch Molly Mahoney at the event that we were both a part of, but she actually has people drop a problem. She asks a question and asks them to engage below, and then she will engage them in Messenger from that.
Nice.
So the CTA now is in the form of, drop the word quiz down
Hmm.
into below the video. So I think people have to be really, really careful what they do in some of those places with links now, because Facebook doesn't want them going off.
Yeah, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'm sure all the platforms, like they want you to. Each platform wants you to stay, wants their users to stay on that platform. So if you're putting links, you're driving people out, which is good for you but bad for the platform. So
Mhm.
a lot of them are gonna, either they have, or they're going to start almost penalizing you by not giving you as much exposure if they see links.
Right.
So I would say keep the links to a minimum, or even avoid them 100%, and just focus on putting good content out. And then the only link you should have is in your profile.
Yeah,
Someone do a
exactly.
giveaway or something, and people will research, right? I see a lot of, like, I did a 5-day LinkedIn challenge a few weeks ago, and I never posted on LinkedIn before. Like, I
Never?
posted, but not post. I mean, I don't post regularly. I post random once a month. I'll post something here and there. I'm not very active on LinkedIn.
Uh-huh.
All of a sudden, I posted. It was a 5-day challenge. I didn't make the last day, so I did 4 days in a row of just
Hmm.
posting good content, targeted, well designed to my avatar, whoever's interested in what I have to offer. Profile views shot up to the roof. I can't remember. It was like a couple 100%, like double or triple the number of views I normally get on my profile, which is very little. It just skyrocketed that week because LinkedIn gives you all the stats. And I was like,
Yeah.
oh, wow.
Yeah,
People
they
saw my content. They checked you out. They want to say, hey, who is this Handy guy? What is he? I like what he said here. Who is he? And they click on the profile. So even Instagram too. I reposted the same content on Instagram 4 days in a row,
uh-huh.
and yeah, profile views went up on Instagram. So I'm pushing this technique. It's not my idea. I mean, it totally makes sense. Get the links off of the content and keep the links in your profile.
Exactly. And I actually on LinkedIn, I use Octopus. And
Okay.
since I started at the beginning of the year, and my following has increased by 10%, and I have about 400 looks a week. And
Wow.
here's the nice thing though. My content, so for the first time ever last week, an article got 91 views. So one of my
Nice.
podcasts did. So that's a really
Nice.
great way to use it. But here's what else you can use Hani's software for. If you have a podcast with a blog, with a video in it, is my thing that I will be using it for is cutting those up and then using them. I have a lot of people who reach out to me on LinkedIn. And if they don't buy from me when we've had a conversation, but I have something that'll be useful, I will drop that short clip into the sort of messenger over there for them and say, hey,
Oh,
we talked about this was one of your obstacles. I hope this helps you.
oh,
So you
nice.
can use Hani's software for that to break those things down and give people little bits of help that they probably aren't expecting.
Nice. Oh, that's a very unique, that's a great way of using the software.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
all about relationship building. So if I can give something helpful, but I don't want to give somebody a whole hour and a half webinar of helpful because they're never going to watch it.
Absolutely right. Absolutely. People have a short attention span and it's just getting shorter and shorter.
Oh,
So
it
you get
is.
to right to the point, you give them the content or small chunk of that content that is relevant to them or interesting to them. That's the way to go. Absolutely.
It definitely is. So, honey, you have a free trial for people to try
Mhm.
this. Where do they find it? How do they grab it? And how do they get a hold of you?
Yeah, if you go to repurpose.io, you can sign up for a free trial there. You can experiment with any kind of, publishing from any platform to any platform. You can do it 4 times and just to get a feel for what it's about. So if you have a podcast, you can convert them into videos. If you have videos, you can convert them to vertical videos, or you can just have them go to YouTube. You can experiment around. Actually, we have a nice visual flow chart on the homepage. If you go to repurpose.io, you'll see kind of you just see visually what we can do with the software, starting with one video or one audio, what 4 or 5, 6 different pieces of content you can generate just from one piece of content. So yeah, you can check that out right on the homepage. You can also sign up for a trial.
Yeah, that's great. And actually, I believe over on YouTube as well, if you look at the Mass Media Summit event over on YouTube or look up Scott Carson, there is a whole video over there of an interview with Hani, and he used slides and showed everybody
Mm,
how to use it and what to do. So, if you want to explore it more, sign up for that trial and go over there. Um,
absolutely.
Thank you. This is so great. I love it that I got somebody with new software on here. That is so unlike technically challenged me.
No, but you actually bring up a good point. But technically challenged, this is something we've always been building in our tools from our WordPress plugins to Repurpose is always keeping it simple. Right? Obviously, room for improvement definitely can help, but it is very rule based. It's very walk you through the process. You connect your Facebook. You make these rules. Basically say I want to start from here, do this, send it here. Kind of like in 3 steps, you can have we call a workflow that will just get the content out to one platform, and you can make as many of these as you want. So if you're worried about technology, it's not a complicated piece of software. At least behind the scenes it is, but the front for the user, it's not hard to use. We have some training videos as well in our support section. And of course, we have a support team, and of course, we have a Facebook group. So there's a lot of resources. I'm active in that Facebook group. So if you're worried about technology and you're worried about learning curve, it's not a very big learning curve. And but you also have a support group as well.
That's great. What is the name of the Facebook group if somebody wanted to go over there?
I think just look up repurpose.io Facebook group. I think it's for users. So when you sign up for a trial, you'll get a link. In the first email, you get a link saying welcome for the trial, and click here to join our group.
Okay, cool. So go
So
over and grab that trial. Thank you, Hani. This was fabulous.
my pleasure. Thanks for having me on.